In today's episode, we're going to be making something for baby, one of my favorite projects, which is a big, soft, snuggly hooded towel. And we're just going to go the simple way so we can whip these out. Makes a great baby shower gift, something great to make for your own baby, and they are just wonderful. If you go to the store, I went to Target, grab 2 bath towels, 1 hand towel, and some scraps of fabric that you like, or if you want it to be even faster, a 2 or 3 inch wide ribbon. You can make 2 of these hooded towels in no time flat. We're going to set our bath towel aside for now, and we are going to work with our hand towel. So we're going to lay this open, and we're going to measure how wide it is. So this one is 17 inches. The reason we need to know that is we're going to be preparing our fabric. So I'm using this scrap of the Crayola Colors of Kindness by Riley Blake Designs. And since our hand towel is 17 inches wide, we need a piece of fabric that is 19 inches by 4 inches. Then we're going to be pressing it and turning it into a 2-inch wide piece that will go across the hood and be super cute. So I'm going to start by cutting a 4-inch wide strip. And then 19, since this is folded in half, we need 19 divided by 2, which is going to be 9.5. And I open that up and double check my work. Okay, 19. Now I'm going to grab an iron and the ironing board. Okay, we have our 19-inch piece of fabric. I'm going to turn that right side down. I'm going to give it a little mist because I am using an iron without steam. Are you a steamer or do you prefer to put your water right onto your fabric? Let me know in the comments. So the first thing I'm doing is I am pressing this in half, and then we're going to open it back up, and we're going to press each side into the center, and that is going to give us a beautiful 2-inch strip of this Crayola fabric with the raw edges put on the inside. I like to use regular size towels so the kids can grow into them. They can just be super big and fluffy for babies, but then they can even use them as they become toddlers. And we're going to go back to our hand towel. Now, the reason we can do 2 hooded towels from each hand towel is that these hand towels are nice and long. So what we're going to do is we are going to line up one of the sewn edges, and then you're going to cut 10 inches from that side. So you're going to have a hood that has 3 edges that are already sewn, and then the 1 raw edge, which is the one that we're going to attach to the towel. So you don't have to deal with bias tape and all the things like that with this project. We're all about just getting this done fast, cute, and ready to use. So I'm doing the same thing, just cutting that at 10 inches. And then we have just a little bit of extra. So I'm going to save this. I might sew it with some flannel to the other side and make a cute little washcloths. We'll just set that aside for now. And we will also set aside the second top. You do want to make sure you don't let a lot of fuzz stay on your cutting mat, because if it stays in those grooves, your mat won't last as long. All right, we're going to get the ironing board back up here, and you want to pin this onto the right side of your towel. So this should be the inside of the hood. See where it's folded over, and this is going to be the outside. So you'll notice we made it a little bit longer, and the reason I have it back on here is because we are going to press these ends so that they are the perfect length for this hand towel. And even each end might be a little bit different. So you just always want to do it. And you can decide where you want to put it, closer to the edge, further up. That's totally personal decision. So you'll see I just folded that over. I'm going to give that a little press. And then I'm just going to pin those ends. You want to make sure you don't pin it to your ironing board. Then we're just going to make sure it's going straight across your towel. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're just going to fold that under so that it matches the edge of our towel. Then you're just going to put a few pins to hold it in place and make sure it's going to stay straight. Then we're going to take it to the sewing machine and we're going to stitch around all 4 sides to secure this to the hood of the towel. Now I have my fabric on there, and so now I'm going to fold this in half with the fabric side in. And we're going to match these raw edges, and you can clip or pin them together. And then we are going to sew the raw edge together. Now there's a couple ways you can do this. You can do a 1/2 inch and a 1/4 inch seam, or you can do a zigzag. We basically want to get this sewn together and also try and encase some of this edge because it is, a towel. And so it is going to kind of fray apart if we don't somehow overlock that. So I'm going to do a zigzag stitch a little more than a 1/4 inch. So let's see how this goes. I do have a walking foot on here, but it doesn't work for zigzag, I'm learning. So if you want to zigzag with 2 terry cloth, it almost is sitting still. So I'm just kind of pulling and helping the bottom feed dogs by pulling on the top. This might be one reason to do 2 straight lines, but I really do like how this is encapsulating it. So you can see up here is where it just kind of sat still. And so those stitches are really close together, but here you can't see them as well because I was helping to move that fabric through. And it did go over the edges, so it's not going to fray a lot when it's washed. So now we have our hood and we are ready to go back and pin it to the towel, and we are almost done. Now that our hood is done, we have to connect it to our towel. And we're going to fold the towel in half with the wrong sides in, so your tags are going to be in. And we basically need to find the center of one of the long ends. So not this shorter end, but the long end, because you want the short end to wrap around them like a big hug. Okay, and now we're going to take our hood, and this is where we sewed together, and we're going to put that right inside the folded towel. We're going to overlap, about a 1/2 inch. And then we're just going to pin that on. When we sew it, we're probably going to go from here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of fold that back and pin half. And then I'm going to flip it. And you just want to make sure it's overlapping about the same so that the hood is a nice size, and pin the rest of this together. So let me know in the comments if you're going to use this as a little side hustle or for your own kids or as a gift. Now, the hardest part of this project is sewing over that really fat fabric part where it's folded. So I don't like to cut it off. I just like to go really slow. And then I like to start before it. So you're going to start where you're just sewing onto the big towel, and then just go super, super slow over this thick part and pray that you do not break your needle or your thread. All right, we've got this. And then you can go faster once your foot is safely off of that big lump. Then you just want to keep moving everything so it's flat for the next few inches where you're going to sew, because right here is where we sewed this together. So it's not totally flat. You just need to keep manipulating it, keeping it flat in between your pins. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see more hooded towel options, how to make them maybe into a cute little dog face or another animal, or if this is fine, keeping it super simple. Let me know if you want to see more tutorials like this that are a little bit different and maybe a little bit more decorative or intricate. All right, now I'm back to the fat part again, so go really slow, and we're going to sew about 1 inch past there. And then we're going to turn, and we're going to go back the other way. Back here, so go real slow again, and then we're going to go about 1/2 inch to 1 inch over, and then we're going to knot it, and it will be all done. And the reason we went twice was just to give that towel a little bit more strength and stability for long-term use. And that is it. It is done. So, so simple. Here's what the inside looks like where we sewed it together. So this side you can see where the fabric overlapped a little bit. I didn't do that as perfectly as humanly possible, but again, it's on the inside. There's outside of the hood. These are really easy to fold. You're just going to fold it in half, just like a regular towel, except this one is going to have a hood. And it's good to go, or you can put the hood on the outside so you remember that this is one of the hooded towels.